So today's session, we're going to be looking at the foundations of authenticity. So what is it? And how to go about it. Then we're going to talk about authenticity in the workplace. How do we bring our authentic selves to work? And then we're going to look at how we show up as ourselves, our really true authentic selves in all aspects of our lives. Just a little nice quick roundup at the end. But before we dive into everything, I wanted to go through a bit about me. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nick Ginsburg. I'm the Executive Assistant to the Provost and Senior Vice President, her name's Professor Susan Elliott, at Monash University here in Melbourne. Monash is Australia's largest university, and the Provost, which is a very academic title, is essentially in charge of academic affairs at the university under the Vice-Chancellor. So she covers so she has oversight of all of our faculties, all of our international campuses, our global engagement unit, our university libraries, you name it, she's got it. There's about 6,500 staff that sit under Professor Elliott, and I get to support her and make sure everything runs smoothly, and I adore my job. I love being an executive assistant. As I think you can probably tell, I absolutely adore it. And I love it so much that in 2018 at Monash, I started the Monash University Executive Assistant Network. It now has over 250 members in it, I think, and we share tips and tricks and funny stories and share our knowledge, and we get together for training and for social events, which was fantastic. So I'm doing my Bachelor of Psychology at RMIT here in Melbourne, and which is part of the reason why I love talking about this stuff, because it is very fascinating to me. Now, before we move on, I want to show you a photo. This is Max. He's our miniature dachshund. My husband Richard and I got him about 6 years ago, I think it was. I think he's coming up to his 6th birthday. And he is the ruler of the household. And I say that because at some point, I'm sure that you will likely hear him. And if you do, I apologize in advance. So let's dive in. So why does authenticity matter? Why do we need to be authentic? So I'm not a huge quote person, just a heads up. I like really summarizing information and putting my own spin on it. But there is a really great quote that I came across about authenticity that I really wanted to share with you. So authenticity, essentially, it means that you're true to your own personality, values and spirit, regardless of the pressure that you're under to act otherwise. You're honest with yourself and with others, and you take responsibility for your mistakes. Your values, ideals, and actions align. And I think the last half of that quote is really important. So that you're honest with yourself and with others, and you take responsibility for your mistakes. Also, your values, ideals, and actions align. Really important. One thing it doesn't mean, which I think is important to share, is it doesn't mean that you have a license to be unprofessional at work because you're being your authentic self. Doesn't work like that. I'm still very professional at work while still remaining authentic to myself. And we'll talk a bit more about that later. So let's have a look at the foundations. So one thing that you want to do, and when I say foundations, it's really getting started as to how we can figure out where we're at. So how authentic are we being? Are we being true to ourselves across all aspects of our life? So what I did during a period where I felt maybe I was creating multiple versions of myself is I really took a step back. And this is the kind of step that I took. I wiped the slate clean and I removed any predetermined thinking that I had about myself. So I removed any limits that I thought were there, and I went, you know what? What do I like? What is it that I really love? What are the things I don't love? What things am I passionate about? What things am I really good at? That kind of stuff. You want to find a quiet space. And when I say quiet space, I mean both physically and mentally. And I understand that if you have children, finding a physical quiet space is incredibly hard. You could possibly lock yourself in a cupboard. That's about all I could offer, but try and find a nice quiet space. And also mentally, when I say a mental quiet space, we all have those times throughout the week where we have less mental clutter than others. So we want to pick those times where we have less mental clutter. One thing I wanted to touch on is that mindfulness is actually a really powerful tool to get in touch with ourselves. So it's something to practice daily. I struggled really quite hard with mindfulness because my brain runs a million miles a minute. And my psychologist, who I see, he gave me a really great tip for getting started. And that is to practice mindfulness as you're brushing your teeth. So for those 2 minutes that you're brushing your teeth, think about what is happening. So I've got an electric toothbrush. My electric toothbrush, that feels a bit sharp on that section, or wonder how fast that's going. And then think about, that sensation on my tongue, or that tastes minty. It's all those things that are happening to yourself. And think about those and focus on those. And it's a really great way of starting mindfulness. Once you're able to do all of that and really center yourself, you can start really diving in to think about that in full detail, full richness. So before we go into a bit more detail, I do want to say that this work can be daunting. It really does take a lot of strength and vulnerability to live authentically. There are going to be people who don't like you, and that's okay. It's really important that you focus on you and how you want to live your life and being true to yourself. One thing that you can do is grow your self-awareness and start checking in on yourself regularly. Journaling is a fantastic way of doing that. So how are you feeling? What did you enjoy today? What didn't you enjoy today? What aspect you were really passionate about from your day at work, or your time on the weekend with your kids, or something like that. Really start understanding what makes you happy and what makes you unhappy. What are the things in your life you want to change? What are the things in your life that you really love and you want more of? Start focusing in on that. We're going to talk about this a bit more, but find your voice and use it in that authentic space. So figure it out and start using it. Don't worry, I'm going to go into more detail. The next thing is, I want you to surround yourself with people who bring you joy. And when I say bring you joy, I mean they are honest, they're authentic, they pick you up when you're down, and they also pull you up if you're not doing the right thing. So those people, the people that really fill your heart, right? And a really fun way I like to think about this is think Marie Kondo, but for your life. So if there are people in it, and I have done this, I hand on heart, I've done it, who don't bring you joy, who don't fill your heart, you go, thank you so much, appreciate what you've done for me, goodbye. That's it. So very Marie Kondo. Obviously do not pick them up and throw them away, but you know what I mean. Just really sort of, it's the end of the era for that friendship, or even that person in your family. I've done it with a family member. And I think it's really important to fill yourself with people, or surround yourself with people that make your life better, not worse. I want to reiterate this. Remember, not everyone's going to like you. That is totally okay. I know that there are going to be people on this call that are going to be watching me talk about this at the moment who aren't going to like what I'm doing, or are going to think that my personality is annoying. Trust me, I've had it my whole life. But that's okay. I don't care. It does not bother me one way. Now, it took some work for me to get to this point. I was a huge people pleaser, so I would have been devastated to hear that one of you watching weren't a huge fan of me. Now I'm not. It doesn't bother me one bit. At all. So if you don't like me, I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine. And try and take that with you everywhere you go. One thing that I do whenever I'm stepping into a new situation, or something like this, where I'm sort of putting myself out there, talking to a group of admin professionals or community members, I say, as long as one person gets something out of this, that's all that matters. And so that's kind of the route I take to stop focusing on whether people like me or not. Now, I want us to do an authenticity activity. You don't have to do it right now, because like I said, I want you to find a space that is physically and mentally quiet. So if you're not in that space at the moment, that's totally fine. If you are, great. You can do that now quickly while we're going through it. But take it away. Spend some time on your own and write these down for me. So I want you to really write down your passions. What are the things in life that you're passionate about? What do you love? What makes your stomach flip? when you, in a good way, when you do it or you're about to do it? What are the things that you're really good at? So what are your strengths? They are different things, by the way, your passions and your strengths, because you can be really great at something and it's not a passion. So I want you to identify both of those things. And this last one is quite tricky, but it's a really important one. I want you to write down your favorite personality traits about yourself. So for me, my passions, I love helping people. My strengths, I'm really good with productivity and emotional intelligence. So that aspect, I know that I'm strong in that field. And my favorite personality traits, I love that I'm caring. I love that I've got a sense of humor and that I'm funny at times. So they're mine, right? And it took me a long time to get to those. So please know this is not an overnight thing. You will have to take time working on this. But I want you to write all of those down. And you will note that I used umbrella terms that aren't focused solely on home or solely on work. They're across all aspects of my life, okay? When you're doing this, and I know this sounds funny, but remain authentic. Please don't try and emulate someone else's life because they seem to have success in it. So don't try and pick ideas that you think will work. You need to make sure that they're true to you. Once you've done this, I want you to check in with the people that are closest to you. These are the people that are super brutally honest. So I've got a group of friends who will say to me, yes, that is a fantastic idea, go for it. And then they're also the same people that go, that is a horrible idea, what are you thinking? You know, in a nice way. They do it in a very nice way, but that's essentially what they're saying. So they're the people you want to do, not the yes friends. So go to them and say, hey, this is what I've been asked to do. I've been asked to write down these things that are about me to really look at authenticity and how authentic I am. Do you think this fits me? They will tell you yes or no. And the people that are really closest to you will know the authentic version of you, right? They will. It may not have the whole picture, but they'll have a decent picture to be able to sort of pull you in line if you feel like you're a bit out of whack with what you're writing down. So take that activity, really sort of knuckle down, try and find some space to do it and start writing. You can also do this as a really good way of starting a journaling. So starting journaling on authenticity, adding a portion at the bottom of your daily journal if you already do it, saying what it is that you really enjoyed. And you note I would have mentioned it earlier. So your passions, your strengths, your favorite personality trait, and you can do that per day if you really want to. So once we've really started doing that work and we're starting to build it, we're starting to build our authentic self and it's starting to become a stronger image, we can now look at integrating that in the workplace. So how would we do that? And why would we do that is the other question. How I'll get to in a second, but the why. Why do we need authenticity at work? So I think there's a couple of things that go into this. So firstly, let's talk about the fact that there are a lot of people that create a work version and a home version of themselves. And there's heaps of reasons why people do this. So it could be to fit in. It could be to be professional, quote unquote. It could be nervous to let the real you out. I'm very loud. I laugh. I have a dirty sense of humor. I love being sarcastic. I love the Spice Girls. I love Beyonce. All of these things, right? Scared to let the real you out at work, right? By the way, all of those things people are aware of except for the dirty jokes because, you know, I've got to be slightly leveled. And that's okay. We'll talk about that in a second. The other thing is that you think that you may have to fit into a specific mold for success. So what I've found is a lot of executive assistants and personal assistants have worked with an incredible EA or PA over their years of working. And what they do is they try and emulate them. So they'll go, okay, well, that type of personality worked really well. I'm going to be that. But that's not really them. And what happens is they run out of energy and things fall apart. So that's a reason why a lot of people try and create separate home and work versions of themselves, and it just doesn't work. So why we need to stop doing that is important, but we need to stop wasting energy. Being two different people or multiple versions of yourself is exhausting. I don't have energy to waste, and I highly doubt any of you have energy to waste. And we can be putting that energy into being incredible assistants and being strategic and being in the conversations and part of leadership teams and at the table. All of these things take energy. And if we're focusing on a different version of ourselves, that energy is being used there, not where it should be used. Okay? Also, another reason, which I think is actually incredibly important personally, is that authenticity really assists in building a strong sense of belonging in the workplace. So a strong sense of belonging essentially is being able to fit in, quote unquote, but as your authentic self. So if everyone is being authentic and a bit vulnerable showing up at work, what that does is it gravitates people together, and the culture that then creates is actually really incredible, because people have this sense of belonging and they are more willing to be at work. They're more willing to do more for in their role. They're more willing to have fun. They're more open about their skills and what they want to do. They're more willing to grow. They get more opportunity. There's so many benefits that go along with that. But once we've got everything together, how do we integrate, right? So I like to think of this as male merge, but for our authenticity, because I'm a huge nerd. So I instantly go to a reference like that. So what you want to do is start merging. So even if you are mostly authentic at work, but not as much as you should be, you still want to be merging. So start small if you're not comfortable. And I would suggest starting small for everyone. Even if you do feel comfortable with it, I would still just lightly ease it in. So a couple of things that you can do: share what you did on the weekend, or slide in a name of somebody in your personal life. So I will often share, so I will ask people that come to see my boss, and keep in mind these are professors and heads of institutes and, these big people. What did you get up to on the weekend? How was your weekend? I've never had anyone refuse to answer or feel that it's inappropriate. And then they usually ask me, and I will be open and say what I did. Mind you, my weekends are relatively boring, so I'm not sure that's very exciting, because it usually involves me studying and taking the dog for a walk and going out to brunch with my husband. That's about it. But I will make sure in that section that I will put a name of somebody that's close to me in, so that it adds a level of personability to the conversation. So I will often reference my husband, Richard. I think I've said it multiple times on this presentation. Now, I don't know most of you. So that instantly, I'm married to a man, his name is Richard, right? So there's already that level of authenticity there, and we're on the other side of the world. So imagine what that does in a workplace, right? So just think about adding that in. And it could be your daughter's name, or your son's name, or your dog's name, or your aunt's name, or, it doesn't matter. Add someone's name in. As you become more comfortable, people will tend to gravitate towards you and also replicate that. So they'll start being more authentic. They'll start being more vulnerable. And that's what we want, because it starts building a really great culture, and you'll feel more comfortable. And this is something I touched on earlier, but remember, it's all about levels. So am I identically the same between home and work? No. But am I still authentically me in both scenarios? Yes. So I will take my foot off the pedal at some point at work just to ease up a bit. And that's to make sure that I'm not being inappropriate, because I swear all the time. And how I don't manage to swear in presentations is beyond me. And I know that that's really horrible, but I do. So it's just what I do. So I don't swear at work. So that's one of those things where my foot comes off the accelerator a bit. The dirty jokes, my foot comes off they're not that dirty, I'd tease. Come off the accelerator a little bit. It's all about levels, making sure that you can maintain that, but it's not about being a different person. That is the key. Okay. So then how do we show up? So you started doing it at work. You obviously started doing it at home. Now, how do we get it across the really quite broad spectrum, of our lives? How do we get that across everywhere, right? So once you've found that true authentic self for you, start by threading your authenticity throughout everything. So that's speaking up. So when you hear something, someone mentioning something, say for example for me, they go, "Oh, we should actually get together, but I'm shocking at organising." I love organising. I mean, I will organise it. Leave it to me. So it's those types of things of raising your hand saying, I really love organising, can I do it? And that goes for work, for home, for family, whatever, right? Again, this can be a bit daunting. So start small with a trusted group of people as you start to weave that in. Also, make sure that you're using your strengths. And when I say strengths, remember, they're the things that you're really good at across all aspects of your life. Please don't think that organising is just important to work and therefore that's where that skill set stays. It doesn't. I have a skill set that I transfer across my entire life, and I'm sure most of you do as well, but start focusing on it because you'll be really fascinated to see where you leave certain skill sets in their places that they operate and don't use them elsewhere. And I think once you start using them across all sort of facets of your life, it's actually really incredible. So one thing I just wanted to end on was to really be yourself. That's it. And that's simple, right? And I know that after a 25-minute little chat, that's a really simple way to end off. But I really think it's important. So each time you hit a roadblock and you feel like you're being pushed in a different direction, check in with yourself. Is this me? Is this truly me? Is this what I want from life? Is this what I love? Is this what makes me passionate? Think about that. So just remember, just be yourself. Just be you. Unapologetically you. All the time. Absolutely all the time.